Hey, what's going on everybody? It's Mike here from AXC Garage. Welcome back to the channel, and today we have a 2021 Honda Civic Type R Limited Edition, car number 11. Now the cars already carry some sort of spoon theme, and today we'll make it even more spoonier. Does that make any sense? Well, anyway, we're doing Spoon Sports front and rear bumper, and Brian will tell you guys a little bit more about it.
And what we have here are the Spoon authentic bumpers. This is the front bumper we see right here. So on this bumper, we did a full paint job in the spoon theme, and pretty much what we did is the carbon fiber comes a part of the bumper now. The actual bumper is fiberglass itself, probably one of the highest quality fiberglass bumpers I've ever seen with the integrated carbon fiber here. Now the way that we masked it off is this section was masked off in black and this rest was painted white. Now we did this on our video and it looked really, really good, and it still looks awesome. What we're gonna do in this episode is we're gonna change it up because that car is not white. And moving along to the rear bumper, we have the same kind of concept, the same paint scheme. So it comes with an attachable carbon fiber rear lip, which is right here. And then the actual bumper itself. Again, a fiberglass bumper. All right, get over here. So this is the same concept as we have on the front. Again, we did a tape line here along the whole underside, and we had the black along with the champ white. So essentially what we're going to be doing, and I'll talk to you more about this when we get into the body shop, is we'll sand down the whole thing. We'll apply yellow, we'll clear coat it, we'll sand it down one more time and smooth it out, so that you don't feel any of this transition between the two. So the first step is obviously we're going to take off the factory bumper. I always prefer to work from the top to the bottom, get everything off. And we'll start with these engine bay clips and just remove them one at a time. Okay, so the fitment is just like we had it on the old car. It looks good. We always want to test fit. Even though we know it's going to fit, we don't want any surprises when it comes to the final assembly. So from here, we're ready to take it off, and then we can send it to the paint shop.
Well, I think we're all good to go here now, Brian.
Yeah, so ready to take these back into the shop and show you how we work my magic and turn these into sunlight yellow. Once the bumpers hit the body shop, we're going to want to sand them down with a 600 grit. We want to make sure that there's no shiny spots. We want to make sure that we have completely sanded down the bumpers for our new paint to stick. Now the good thing about these bumpers, since we previously did them in a white two-tone with the black, is that the lines were already there, so we didn't have to second guess exactly where they go. Now, using fine line tape and taping off lines is very tedious and takes a lot of time, but when the project is all done and you can pull that tape off and you see how beautiful the two-tone line is, it's very rewarding. So make sure you take the extra time it's going to need to get that line as perfect as you can get it. Heading into the mixing room, we're mixing up our paint, and yellow is a very transparent color, but it has a white base, which is a good thing. So we'll make sure we mix up enough, and you can see that it covers pretty well. Now I'm going to show you only one coat of base here, but we did about maybe 3 to 4 coats just to make sure we got full coverage on all of our bumper. Once the yellow was dry and completely dry, we're very carefully able to take off our masking paper. Now the good thing is that that black portion has already been clear coated, so any sort of residue or overspray that landed by accident and kind of got through can easily be wiped off with a lacquer thinner or a reducer, and will leave you with a brilliant black shine once it's cleared. Once our yellow base has completely dried, we want to give it a nice couple coats of clear coat. This is a high solids clear coat, so you'll only need 2 coats of clear. Once the clear coat has dried for a day, we're going to do something called a flow coat. It's where you sand down the whole bumper with about a 600 grit. You flatten it out like you see right here. Now this is after it's been sanded back down again, and this is going to help really smooth out the line between the black and the yellow and make sure that that two-tone is buried under the paint so you cannot touch it at all. From here, it's just 2 quick coats of clear, and the shine that you'll get out of a flow coat is absolutely stunning. Moving on to the front bumper now, it's much more in depth. There's a lot more lines, and I switched to the blue vinyl 1/8 from 3M, which is a much better tape. You can really curve around those edges and handle them. Now, I will tell you, putting down an adhesion promoter will really greatly help out before putting that fine line tape on, and that's just what we did here before any of the tape was put onto our front bumper, making sure that we take enough time possible to really get that line down. Now, we want to make sure not to put the fine line in between the 2 colors, but kind of put it back just a little bit on the black. That way we would make sure that when we're done spraying the yellow, we don't have any white seeing through. That could be a big headache after you pull off that tape and have to go spot in some yellow base. So we want to make sure that we covered all our bases before we sprayed down our yellow paint. After it's all been messed up pretty good, we're going to go ahead and get our same paint, and we're going to apply it the same way we did on our rear bumper. Now, we did about maybe 3 to 4 coats until we got full coverage. We still had that white undercoat, which really helps out with the yellow, really helps it cover much better. But you want to allow your coats to flash about maybe 10 to 15 minutes in between time. You really want to make sure it's completely dry before you put on that next coat. By allowing it to really dry, what's going to happen is that your next coat of paint is going to hide the first coat much better. And once after that yellow is all dried, it's a tedious part of pulling off your tape and really hoping that you have a nice fine line. In our case, it came out really nice. I was very happy with the way the two-tone came out. We have a nice, beautiful, clean line between our yellow, our carbon fiber, and our yellow and our black portions of the actual bumper cover itself. And we're ready to clear, and I'm using a 3M performance gun with a 1.2. And when you're painting a bumper like this, you don't want to put on too much material. We have a lot of areas that really have a lot of contours, and we don't want to flood on the clear coat all at once. So we're going to follow the same procedure as we did with the rear. Remember, we did the flow coat. Well, that's going to be the same thing. We're going to get our material on a good 2 coats. It's going to look beautiful, and then we'll follow it up with that 600 grit sand scratch to smooth everything out and bury these lines underneath the clear, and it will look beautiful once it's all done. So sit back, watch, and enjoy this masterpiece. And after it's all complete, this bumper really came out stunning. I'm very proud of the job done here, and this one's ready to go back into the shop, and we're going to get with Mike and put the bumper back on the car, as well as the rear bumper as well, and I can't wait to see how it all looks.
All right, guys, so the rear bumper is all done. Brian, tell me a little bit more about the rear bumper.
Yeah, so the rear bumper is all done. Remember, it was painted twice because we wanted that line to come out really, really smooth. So you saw what we just did. We had painted it, sanded it back down, and we gave it like a float coat. And now we're ready to assemble it. It has a lot of working parts. So we have the rear spoiler, we have the mesh grills, we have the reflectors, and it actually bolts in differently. It bolts in from the inside of the trunk. So we have a work cut out for us. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna replace that rebar with one that fits for this bumper. So it might look like a lot for putting a rear bumper on, but in this case, it was designed to bolt from the inside. Conventional regular bumpers that clip into a bracket, as you can see, the bracket was removed and we had to seal off one of the holes. We're only going to be using these two holes because bolts will be coming from the inside to the outside. And let me show you what they're going to be bolting to on the bumper. So if we take a look on the bumper, there's actually two socket nuts behind here, and this is where the bolt will bolt in and it will hold the bumper to the actual vehicle. Then you have two OEM holes for your bolts, and the rest is just a couple clips here and there and screws. So let's go ahead and put it on the car.
All right, we are all done with the back bumper, and now Brian over here is prepping the front bumper.
Yeah, so on the front bumper, it's a little less involved because you don't have to take everything apart. So we have these grills right here with the little pegs. So we're gonna insert the grill, and then we'll just bend back the peg to hold it back. And then we have fog lights, and then we have an under splash shield, and then this goes right on. We're ready to put the front bumper on. Mike's gonna bring it over. We're gonna gently install it. It should pop right back on. All right. Fog lights.
All right, guys, just like that, we got the spoon bumper completely repainted to the new Sunlight Yellow.
Yeah, and it looks really good. A lot of time was spent to get those lines just right, but you know, when you take a step back and look at the actual bumper on the car, all the work and all the patience really comes together. Really cool project to work on.
Hey guys, if you haven't already done so, make sure to subscribe to the channel and also give it a thumbs up on this video.
Yeah, so awesome project. I'm sure we have more on the way. And once again, thank you for helping us rebuild our community.
Hope to see you guys on the next one.